fun and happy Thanksgiving Eve to my friends in the States. I'm seeing already Sue and Debbie hopped on to comment on YouTube. Thanks, ladies. Wishing you a happy Thanksgiving as well. So we'll just wait and see who we've got here. Hopefully, we've got some Facebook friends joining us. If you read the little announcement that was posted earlier this afternoon, kind of the reminder that the Fast and Fun was going to be happening, what the topic was, there was also a little bit of information in there. We are having a lot of problems with Facebook, not necessarily streaming. We seem to be okay doing that, but it's not saving or showing up as a post on the Creative Memories Virtual Crop Facebook page. So we have let Facebook know. Hopefully it'll be resolved soon. You can still see the videos on Facebook, but you have to go into the media tab and then choose videos. Okay, and I know some people search Noreen Smith and sometimes that pops up as well. But right now, for whatever reason, it's best and easiest to join us on YouTube. So hello, everybody. We are getting some Facebook friends coming up. So hello, everyone. Lots and lots of happy Thanksgiving, happy family time. Hello, everybody. Appreciate you being here with me. In that same post I was just talking about, I think I saw a comment. I think it was Chris Payne mentioned it. I'm not 100% sure. But someone was saying, oh, that's great. I'll be listening in while I'm peeling carrots and potatoes. So I know many of our friends in the U.S. are getting ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So I appreciate you hopping on and joining me today. And if I haven't introduced myself, my name is Noreen Smith. I am the Product Development Creative Manager at Creative Memories. And it's my pleasure each and every Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, no exception, to be with you for about an hour or so to make some fast and fun projects. So tonight is no exception. Yeah, somebody's peeling apples. There's my friend Sabine. She's sneaking in from work. Hello from Carmel. Someone is saying that they're in the Facebook group, so hopefully that's going okay over there. And Maureen from Maryland is saying the same thing, that it's on and in Facebook now. So that's great. I see some gals joining us from Australia, Iowa, Denver. Oh, there's from Japan. Yokosuka is with us. Hello from Japan. Glad you're able to join us. So I'm thankful that you're all here. We celebrate Thanksgiving in Canada back in October, usually the second weekend in October. But I am thankful for all of you joining me here tonight. So let's get started. We are talking about cards tonight. And for a couple of reasons. So last week we, kind of kicked off the prep and preserve memories for the holiday season. Today we're going to be talking about cards. And the two reasons I want to focus on cards tonight is, one, Creative Memories card kits have become so popular that we've sold out. We're selling out faster than we can keep them in stock and keep our designers generating more. Our Christmas card kit for this year has sold out. And now our blank card kit has also sold out. Now we are expecting more. We're just waiting the shipment. And actually, we're going to be offering them in a new format. You're actually going to get more cards, 15 cards instead of 12, and the price will be slightly less. So you can look forward to that, but unfortunately, they're just not here yet. I wish I could make the shipping containers move faster, but they're just not here. So I wanted to hop on and show you, how easy it is to create a card from scratch, even if you don't have any blank card bases or card kits to work from. So that's one reason. So I'm going to be kind of making a really simple card that you can whip up in no time, for that reason. Okay, because I know many of you, Thanksgiving is kind of the kickoff to the holiday season. Many of you this coming weekend will be working on your Christmas cards, getting some Christmas shopping done, decorating. All of those kind of preparations tend to start about now. So if you are looking for some card ideas that are easy and fast and that you don't need a lot of special things for, I've got you covered for that. The second reason is that I always enjoy sending very special cards to special people. So, I mean, I could definitely go, you know, and find a card for my mother-in-law or, you know, my best friend or things like that at the store. I can make a small card, you know, just the regular size card, and that's always pretty and always appreciated. But I like to do something that's a little bit more, a little bit extra. So the one card that I'm going to show you today is got a secret surprise in it, and we're going to spend a little bit more time on that one. And if you only make one card this year, this might be the one that you want to try. Again, a special card for a special person. Oh, somebody is saying, somebody is saying that they just wrote out their Christmas cards this afternoon. Well, you're ahead of the game. And Susan is asking, can you show us what the Creative Memories card looks like? And I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I am going to show you the cards that I'm going to be making, but I don't have any of the ones that did sell out, unfortunately. So I can't share those with you. You'll probably be able to find those online, Susan. Just, you know, Creative Memories Christmas cards, and then search images. You'll probably find the seasonal sightings card kit there. Okay. All right. So I am going to switch you over. Let me just see. Is there anything else I need to cover? No, I've got you covered for basic cards and a special card today. So let's switch over here and get started. And we're going to start, as I said, by talking about how to make a basic card. Now, I saw a lot of questions in the Creative Memories Advisor group about this, as well as in some of the other Creative Memories groups. I don't remember if anybody was specifically asking here in the virtual crop group, but I'm kind of addressing it as a generality. Now, when we talk about standard size cards, we're talking about cards that kind of fit into an A2 size. And depending on whether you are in North America, Australia, the UK, it might be called different. But basically, the Creative Memories cards are this A2 size. Sometimes they're called invitation. Sometimes they're called RSVP cards. And the envelopes that you want to look for, because you might need a ton of envelopes. I just went to Staples. You can see how old this box is, actually. I just went to Staples and bought a bulk box, you know, 250 envelopes, invitation size, and these are 4 3/8 by 5 3/4. So that's the size you would want to look for, and that's what we would consider a standard sort of craft size envelope, and that is the same size as the Creative Memories ones. So again, if you're looking for bulk envelopes, check your supply, your office supply store. I got these at Staples in Canada. I'm sure Staples or Office Depot in the States would have something similar. If you're in Australia, let me know the name of your office supply place in Australia. Okay, so the other thing to know about a standard card is that it is really easy to make if you have some 8.5 by 11-inch cardstock. Again, office supply store, basic craft store, that kind of thing. But if you're using your Creative Memories 12 by 12 paper, we can use that as well. It's super easy to use a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. You're literally going to turn it so that the 11-inch side is at the top, and you're going to cut it in half. So 5.5. Okay, and that gives you your 2 cards, and all you need to do is score and fold them in half. Office Works in Australia. There we go. Okay, C6 or 06. I think it says C6. Office Works or C6 in Australia. Okay, so there's your standard size card. Really easy, just one simple cut from an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of paper. When you're using or starting with a 12 by 12, I like to first cut it to 8.5. And that gives me a nice big piece of scrap that I can use for something else. And then I turn it, cut it to 11. There we go. And then I've got the same 8.5 by 11-inch page. So again, 11-inch side at the top, one cut down the middle, and I've got, oh man, I might need to change my blade. then you've got the exact same size cards. Okay, and you can score them with the score blade. I'm just folding them really quickly to show you how easy that is. All right, so whether you start with your 12 by 12 or an 8.5 by 11, this is your standard size of card that will fit in the A2 size or invitation or RSVP size of envelope. Okay, and I just get white, and then I can make whatever color card I want. Okay, so that's the basics. So if you have found yourself without card bases, if you've relied on CM blank card bases for a long time, you might have sort of forgot all of that. Okay? Oh, and great. Arlene is saying that an A4 sheet cut in half gives A5 paper, fits in a C6 envelope. Okay, so I'm assuming that that is the Australian equivalent, kind of the standard size or one of the standard sizes that you can use for cards. Okay, thanks for sharing that, Arlene. I appreciate that. All right, so I've got 2 cards here. I'll grab another envelope from my box and just keep that off to the side. And we are going to go ahead and make 2 really fast cards. And these are the kind of cards that you could make in bulk. So if you've got, 40 different cards that you need to send out, and you just usually, write a quick hello and, festive holiday greetings, that kind of thing. This is the type of card you want to make in bulk. So I'm going to use the Christmas Cheer embellishments. And if you haven't seen them, they are beautiful die-cut embellishments that have different kinds of backing. So I can take this little tree, let me put it against some white so you can see the details there. I can take this little tree ornament that's a die cut and place it against one of the solid or patterned backing pieces, and it creates a really lovely, thick, substantial embellishment. So to do that, I'm literally just going to use my repositionable adhesive, attach that on the back, and then I can actually go through and choose whichever, backing that I want. I've already put all of these together. You can see those great shapes. And so I have 4 left. I have 2 of the trees and 2 of the peppermints. So I think I'm going to put the peppermints with the swirly patterns, and then the trees with the starry sort of skies. There's a light sky and a dark sky. So I just kind of line them up. And then the great thing about repositionable is that I can just kind of move them around. I've got a little bit of wiggle room to make sure they're all nicely aligned. So that's the first step to making something like this, is just creating your actual ornaments, just getting them all put together and ready to go. And in this pack, you're going to make 16 layered ornaments. So you're going to be able to make 8 cards using this kind of bulk method. Okay, and we're going to use 2 on each card. So I'm going to use those 2 together. I'm going to mix and match some of the rest of these. I think that those actually would look really pretty together. And then maybe, maybe something like this would look pretty together. So maybe happy holidays there. I'm just kind of rearranging them and thinking what would look good. So so I'm going to do those ones. So those are the pairings of ornaments that I'm going to come up with. And I'll show you the 2 that I've already done so that you can kind of get a feel. We are literally placing 2 ornaments onto a card with a backing sheet and a strip of paper. And this is how we're going to cut the strip of paper and the back. We need a 4-inch piece of paper. I'm going to cut 2 4-inch pieces from these 2 different papers. One is plaid and plaid, and one is plaid and plaid. So there's lots of plaid here, and if you know me, you know that I love plaid. So I'm going to use these ones, and I'm just going to cut a 4 by 12-inch strip from both of these papers. Okay, so I've got lots left. I can still do 2 more 4-inch strips with each of these papers and get more card bases. Okay, So now I'm going to turn it. I'm going to first cut at 3/4 inches, 3/4 of an inch. So I got a couple little strips there. Then I'm going to cut again at 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to cut my remaining piece at 5¼ So 3¾ 3/4, 5¼ So now I have 4 card bases, and I mean, I can flip them all over, and I have 4 strips that I can place across the top. And I can do, you know, whatever I sort of like, right? I can put that one on top there, and maybe I'm going to put this one on top there. So those are literally my card bases. And all I need to do is a quick assembly. So tape runner, let's do this one. I'm just going to use a little bit of tape runner on the back, center this on my page, and then I'm going to add my strip at the top. And you know, if you have different embellishments, you can place this strip at the bottom too. I just like it at the top because then when I put my embellishments on here, I'm going to be able to make it look like the embellishments are hanging from that little strip. Okay, so I'm going to adhere one straight to my page or my card, just a little bit down from the top, and I'm going to add one with a foam square, and it's just going to overlap just slightly. And then super easy, you can either take the gold or silver metallic dot tip pens or the gold or silver dual tip pens, and you're just going to add a little line. The trick is to go right over the top of the ornament and a little bow at the top. Okay, so it looks like it's hanging down from that little sort of ledge. And then I can use the opposite side, especially with the dot tip, to just kind of add a few little dots onto the card. So I'm not sure how long that took me, but it's fast. All right, so let's do another one. I only made 2 card bases, so we'll just do 2, but let's do a green base. I didn't get that quite even. And we'll top it with red plaid strip. So again, use what you have, use whatever papers you have, and let's maybe do these 2 on here. That would be pretty. So again, one of them goes directly onto the base. One of them gets a foam square and overlaps just a little bit. Let's use silver this time. Goes right over top. Just a line over the top, a little oval, and a little mark to make it look like it's hanging from a string. A few dots and you're done. So you could do some bulk cards like this really, really quickly. And the only extra thing I did on this one was actually just used the dot tip. I'll do it here. Let me get a piece of scrap. Just put a piece of scrap paper under it and then just use your gold dot tip to give your card a gold edge. So you can't get much faster than that. And again, supplies are pretty, straightforward. Basically a 4-inch by 12-inch will do 2 cards. Okay, so these are the type of cards that you could do in bulk, and you could get a lot of cards knocked out really, really quickly. So again, using 1 package of the Christmas cheer ornaments, you'd get 16, which will make 8 cards really quick for you. Okay, so those are our basic and bulk cards. You can use, if you don't have the Christmas cheer embellishments, if you're an advisor, you might have some of the holiday open house ornaments. If you don't have either of those, look through your stash, find some nice, good size embellishments that will look good if you kind of layer them on top of each other. Okay, so that's our first card. Super quick, super easy. Now let's talk about this special card because I'm really, really excited about this. But I need to tell you something before we go on. Obviously, you can see that it's a 6 by 6 inch card, so a little bit bigger than our standard cards. Okay, there's the difference in size. Before I go, though, I want to bring you back to talk to me for just a second because I know that many of you say, Noreen, you know, every week you come on, I come on to watch you and get ideas. Where do you keep coming up with all of these ideas? And I think back to my art teacher days, and I would talk to my students and tell them about how, you know, inspiration is everywhere. It's in the clothes we wear. It's in the products that we see in the stores or advertised to us, you know, online or in print magazines. When we go and walk through a card shop, for example, it's full of inspiration to make other cards. Now, the other place that I get inspiration a lot is Instagram and Pinterest, two social media platforms that are heavily visual. I rarely scroll through Facebook for inspiration because I'll get all kinds of different posts. But Instagram and Pinterest are heavily visual. And that appeals to me because I can see things and, you know, it immediately sort of says, oh, I like that. I need to investigate. So I can see things and become inspired very quickly. And the card design that I'm going to share with you now was inspired. I saw an Instagram reel done by a creator and artist in Germany named Julia. She has over 100,000 followers and creates amazing craft projects. And I will be sure to share her link in the descriptions. But she was showing this type of card, and it inspired me to create a similar card with Creative Memories products. Now, I always get questions about, well, isn't that copying? So here's what I would tell my students from back when I taught both English and art. If you copy something as you see it or as you read it, without giving credit to the artist or the author, it's called plagiarism, right? We can't claim somebody else's ideas to be our own. But the reason that, you know, thinking back to your high school or university papers, for example, the reason that we cite our sources is to give credit to those people who we've learned from. And that's what it's really about. We're looking for inspiration. We're looking to learn new things. So when we try it and share it, as long as we're giving credit where credit is due, as long as we're citing our sources, then we can share that, you know, whatever we've discovered based on that inspiration. Okay, so that's kind of my caveat where I get inspiration, and I will definitely be sharing Julia's information with you. Her account, I believe, on Instagram is Fraulein Fotofee. So it's a beautiful account, and I will definitely share that with you for more inspiration. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that, and let's go back to my table here now, and let me show you this card. So I've made, this is my sample, and I've made it with Joy to the World. So this is how I imagine I would, you know, send it. I've got a little sticker from the Joy to the World stickers, and I can write my information there. But here's the card, and again, you can see that it's a 6 by 6 inch card. I've just used Joy to the World stickers and some of the embellishments, but I mentioned that there is a surprise inside. And the surprise is that it creates a little panoramic scene. So it's a little pop-up type of card, but it's almost like it creates a little room. And I don't know if you noticed when I opened it, but some of the little embellishments, like the fireplace and like the little presents, will pop out when you open it. So it's a really cute idea because it's going to stand on somebody's you know, mantelpiece or on their table or whatever, and it creates that lovely little scene. I've also got a little photo in here. When I create this with you in a second, you could use that to write your sentiment in. I've just written my sentiment here on the floor of the little house. Okay, and then it just folds up, and we're going to make the card and the little envelope. Okay, all right, so let's get started with that. I'll show you what I'm using. I've got my Christmas cheer paper here, and I've got a piece of white cardstock. Not 100% sure which papers I will use, so we're going to come back to those in a minute. And then I also have my stickers. And in this case, I thought it would be really great because I could really see using something like the little Christmas tree or Santa and his sleigh. I think those would be great embellishments to fill those sort of 6x6 spaces. So I think I think the stickers will work better than the embellishments in this case. So I've got stickers and the paper and a piece of cardstock. So let's get going with this. All we're going to do first of all is score and make a couple of cuts with our scissors. We're not going to cut anything with our paper trimmer. So I've got my scoring blade inserted. Get it opened up here. And we're going to start by scoring at 6 inches on two sides. So basically in half, we're creating, an X here. So we'll score it one side at 6 and then turn it. And we'll score it one side at 6 again. And I'm just going to go ahead and fold it. I know that sometimes on camera, some of the fold lines don't necessarily show because of the lighting. But there we go. I've just folded my my 12 by 12 in half and in half again. Now what we need to do is we basically need to get rid of one section, and then we need to score and fold on the diagonal in another section. So the two lower sections are where we're going to work on next. And I'm just going to take a pencil here. You don't need to do this, but I just want to show you. This is where I'm going to score. Okay, so imagine that that's my score line. And here I want to take most of this away, but I want to create a little flap so that I can glue this all together. So I've just made a really rough sort of flap style drawing. I'm just going to take my scissors. I'm going to cut that flap away. Now, if you were remembering that on the inside of the other card, I had a white circle, I just cut it from the extra piece that I cut away. So make sure you hang on to this just in case you want to add a white shape, square, circle, oval, whatever. Okay, so I just cut that little flap shape there. And now you can kind of get the idea that when I pull this up, that flap is going to attach to the back side of this wall of my little room. Okay, and then this is going to be the floor, so we have to score that. So let's set this piece that we just cut aside. Still have our scoring blade in here. And the easiest way to score this now is to just sort of fold the one wall of the card back and away. And I'm actually going to have to flip it around here. Let me see. There we go. We'll do it this way. Okay, so we're going to place that line on our cutting line with the point or the corner of the paper there, and then the edge of our little flap there. And you can line it up against your 45-degree line to make sure you've got it nice and straight, but you're basically just going to score that. Okay, so that's all of the scoring that we need to do. Oh, actually, we got some cutting in a minute, so I'll leave that out. But let's go ahead and just fold this a couple of times, both directions. Again, use a bone folder or a or your multi-purpose tool. Okay, and then you can see that this is how it's going to come together. So that flap is going to go behind the wall. We're going to attach it there, and then now this piece is going to fold up and into the card. All right, so this is a great little base, and of course you could adapt this. You could make it a little bit smaller. You could make it like a 5x5 or a 4x4, but that's really the idea. Scoring and folding in half, both directions, cutting one little flap, and then scoring on the diagonal for this flap. All right, So that's the base of our card done. I don't want to adhere it all together because it's easier to work on it flat. So let's get some paper. And I kind of think that I'm going to use this one because when I was looking at, you know, my little stickers, I think that would be gorgeous, the little sleigh and Santa. And I think if I do the little green tree, that would show up really nicely on the red as well. So we're going to use this, and basically we're just going to cut it into 4 5.5-inch squares. Remember that this was a 12-inch square piece of paper. So each of these sections is now 6 by 6. And we need 2 sort of walls for our little scene, our little diorama. We need 1 piece for the floor. And then when it all folds up, we'll need 1 for the front. So if we cut this into 4 5.5 by 5.5-inch pieces, we will be ready to go. So let's do that. I can just go right to the edge of my trimmer. I know that that's 5.5. I'll have a little bit extra. I'll just add to my little scrap pile. So there's 1 and 2. And I'm going to keep those 2 pieces together because they're kind of like, you know, matching pieces. So those will be my inside pieces for my walls. All right, let's cut another piece here. Again, a little bit of scrap. I think I'll probably use a lighter, the lighter side for my floor, and then I'll probably use the red on the outside as well. Okay. Now the only other piece that we need to do, piece to cut, is cut our floor piece in half diagonally so that it's going to, I mean, I guess you could put it on there and then crease and score and fold it, but when you cut it, it'll fold a little bit easier. So I'm just gonna again use my 45-degree line just to make sure I've got it nice and even. I'm seeing a little message there from somebody as a reminder that if a square envelope in the States costs extra to mail. So for me, this would be the type of card that I would be bringing to like my mother-in-law, to, you know, my brother and sister-in-law. So I might not be mailing this, but that's a really good point. You'll definitely want to figure out if you need to add extra postage to it. So I'm just going to adhere the diagonal pieces just on either side of the fold. And even though this one, you know, does have a few extra steps, it's definitely not a difficult card to put together. Once you follow the little template there, basically your main amount of time with this card is going to be in the decoration. So I'm getting up I think of it as like wallpaper. The wallpaper on the walls of my little scene. Okay, and then just again, you can kind of tentatively fold it so that you know exactly where you're putting it. This is going to be my front. So this is my front piece, front of the card, and I'm going to use the red on the front as well. So 1 piece of paper, 1 piece of cardstock, and now I have my little diorama put together. Now, if you want to do something like the little photo, or you want to cut out your, you know, a shape for the inside, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to cut a 4-inch circle. That's what I had in there with a 3.5-inch photo. So I've got my smallest custom cutting system and the red blade. So let's cut this. Almost like doing origami. Yes, exactly. That fold is what makes it work, you know, and have the little pop out. Okay, and you'll notice that I left some additional space down here because I'm actually going to use the rest of this for the little accordions that are going to help my little embellishments kind of pop out. Okay, so we're still going to have a little bit more use for our scraps. All right, so let's go ahead and place this right on here. As I said, you could put a family photo on here. That would be lovely. Again, if I'm giving it to my mother-in-law, give her the family Christmas photo, and we're right there when she opens it up and kind of sits it on her mantle or table. And then I think everything over here is going to be embellishments. You can add some embellishments down here and add some embellishments to the front. So let's get that out and just kind of make a plan. As I mentioned, I think I'm going to use the Christmas tree here and maybe some presents, something like that along the side there. And then on the opposite side, just sticking those to the edge of my desk there. On the opposite side, I think I will put Santa's sleigh. Oh, maybe Santa's sleigh is going to go like that. And Santa. Okay, so something like that. So I would adhere my photo first before I place my little pop-ups. Now you could just go ahead and use foam squares. You don't have to do the pop-up, but it is again kind of that nice surprise when things pop out. So I wanted to talk just really quickly about getting the sticky off your stickers. Now, you can go ahead and just put them on fabric, and that will take some of the stickiness off your stickers. Okay, they're not quite as tacky. If you have, I hope I have it here, if you have a tool like a powder or embossing pillow, you can just literally tuck, what am I trying to say? Tap that on the back, and that kind of provides a photo-safe powder onto the back of your stickers so that they're not sticky anymore. So that's what I would do in something like this. The other alternative would be to actually put your stickers onto a piece of cardstock. That'll give them a little bit more weight, and then you can attach the cardstock. Please don't use anything like cornstarch. Okay, well, I guess really if you're creating a card, you could use cornstarch, but please don't use anything like cornstarch if you're putting your stickers on your scrapbook page, because cornstarch, of course, is a food based or plant-based substance. So we don't want anything like that near photos. So again, either use something that's dedicated for removing the sticky or embossing, or tap it on your sleeve, some fabric, or just use foam squares and don't worry about popping it off. Okay, but to do the little pop-ups, I'm just going to take, maybe an inch, make it a little bit wider, of my scrap. And I'm just going to make a little accordion fold. Okay, so maybe 4 times. And I'll just cut that off. And then it just gets adhered just like normal. And use a good bit of adhesive. You might need to, on something like this, use a little extra. So let's make a little extra. Just 4 little folds, because it's a tall sticker. And if I just put this at the bottom, it might not pop out. Okay, so I've got my little zigzag accordions on there. And now I can go ahead and just put my lovely little Christmas tree there, and you can see the dimension that it gets away from the card. Again, it's going to close up like that, and it's going to pop open when the person opens the card. So let's go ahead and do that for Santa and his sleigh. Again, I'm just using scrap here. You can be a little bit more precise. Okay, I'm going to do a little one up top here as well. Again, I'm just doing kind of 4 small folds, trimming off the excess. It's not even that neat. I'm not making it any particular size, just size to fit, really. Now, before I put this on, actually, if I want Santa to sort of be attached there, I should have actually stuck him on before I took the sticky off him. Okay, so he's going to be standing in front of his sleigh like that. So let's get another little pop-up on Santa's back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that might be a little wide. Let's see. Nope, that'll be okay. All right, and then I put my adhesive on. And there's my little scene for this side. So once I have my pop-up places, or my pop-up embellishments placed, now I can go ahead and attach this. And the easiest way, and you are going to use a fair bit of tape runner, so use your tape runner or maximum strength craft tape, or if you have any photo tape at home. Currently we're out of stock on the photo tape. Again, more is on the way, but you'll definitely want to run a nice long strip of adhesive there. Fold this over and then just attach it. Okay, so you can just fold everything in, make sure that's attached. So you can see that the flap is at the back of the card, and that's what's holding it together. Okay, so again, this is how it's going to look now when we pop that open. So we've got our little Christmas tree. I can put my presents alongside it, right? If I have, oh, they could even go, you know, kind of tucked in behind the tree like that. That might be kind of cute. So some of them are attached directly to the card base. Some of them are going to pop up. So I'm not going to do any more embellishing on the inside. I am just going to look ahead here and see, you know, what would make sense. Maybe happy holidays, you know, maybe I'm going to take another scrap of a different color of paper. Maybe I'm going to use the same paper that I had on the floor of my little card. Maybe make a circle and then add my embellishment, however you want to embellish. But again, this is going to be the front, and then the inside is where the surprise is. Okay, so I'm not going to do any more to this card. You can see how I embellished the sample card. And again, we've got lots and lots of extras here, lots of ideas for titles, lots of little, you know, extra sprinkle stickers we can add. So you can do a great job of adding your title to your special card. So again, I used Peace and Joy and a couple of little swags and then the embellishments. Now, I want to show you really quickly how to make your envelope for this. Now, I know that some of you have the envelope maker. I'm just getting it from my tool slide here. If you have the envelope maker, you can go ahead and follow the instructions for a 6 by 6 inch envelope. Okay, so you start with a 9 3/4 inch piece of paper. You score at 4 7/8. If you do not have that, I'm going to show you how to make an envelope without the envelope creator. We are going to start with the same size as was indicated there, 9 3/4. So let's see. This would be cute. I like to think about how it would look when they open it. Well, that might be nice, right? Just kind of that nice neutral. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this one. So we need 9 3/4. 9 3/4 square. 9 3/4. Now, if you were with me during the secret box opening, I showed you how to actually make an envelope for an 8x8 paper album. This is the same idea. We're basically going to score on the diagonal all the way around. And the way that I usually figure out is that I put my piece of paper or my card or whatever's going into the envelope down, and I kind of just do a little bit of figuring out what the actual scoring marks are. And in this case, we are going to score where 3 3/4 meets the 45-degree mark. So I've mentioned this before. Feel free to use one of our colored pens and just give yourself a little arrow so that you can, see it each time you have to score the corner, and then you can wipe off that mark with no problem afterwards. So I'm bringing the point down to 3 3/4 where it meets the 45-degree. Oh, that could have been a disaster. I forgot to change out my scoring blade. Did I put it away? Where did I put it? Oh, see, this happens to me every time, guys. I'm so excited to show you things and I misplace things. There it is. All right, make sure your scoring blade's in. Now let's put our envelope paper. 3 3/4 meets the 45-degree mark. Score. We're going to do that to each side. 3 3/4 meets 45 degrees. Score. So again, if you ever find yourself with an unusual shaped or unusual size, I guess, envelope or card or mini album, that's a good way to figure it out. Just place it inside a square on the diagonal, and you should be able to figure out where to score it. All right. So I want the gold on the outside, so I'm going to fold these edges up. And right now I'm just going to fold 3 edges. And there is going to be a little bit of overlap in the corners. There's 1, 2, and 3. Now, you might have noticed that I went ahead and rounded my corners there. So that's an easy thing to do with the corner rounder. Again, if you have the envelope creator, that's what the little punch is for. So we've got the corner rounder for the edges, and that little notch is what takes out the little overlapping sort of V shapes. But you don't need to take those out all the way around. Let's go ahead and adhere this. I like to do my sides first. So just a little dab in the center there. Fold that over and then fold up the bottom. And then I'm just going to run again. You do need to make sure that it's nicely sealed. So use your tape runner generously. And there's my envelope. Now I do want to just trim off these little excess pieces that otherwise would get folded over each and every time. So it's basically the little sort of overlapping corners. And that's all I need to do to make the envelope fit. Okay, so once I get all of my embellishments on here, once I finish the inside and make the little pop-up and add a photo or a message, or you can add the message here. You could add an embellishment here as well. The only thing you just have to make sure is that you are attaching it to one side of the floor part only. So don't put it flat in the middle, because then the embellishment would have to bend as well. So just if you want to put anything on the floor of your little diorama card, make sure you're just attaching it to one side so that it will fold up. It'll stay attached, but it'll fold up and out of the way. Okay, so once my card is done, there's my little envelope. Fits perfectly. I can use some tape runner, or again, just grab my my stickers. See, now I put my stickers in somewhere. And I did notice that there's these lovely little round stickers. So, I might just put something like that, close it up, and I can address it, or, just write, to Peggy. That's my mother-in-law's name. So just write the recipient's name on the front. So I hope that you like that idea for a special card for a special someone. And then don't forget about, the basic idea of creating some easy cards really, really quickly with just those tips that I gave you and those easy measurements. All right. So I hope that gives you something to work on over the next couple of days, whether you are celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow, or you're looking forward to the weekend, maybe doing some crafting, some shopping, getting some decorating done. Hopefully you'll have time to make some bulk cards or a special card for a special someone. All right. So thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to let you go because I know you've got carrots and potatoes and apples to peel, and you got pumpkin pies to make, and you got to get the turkey in the oven and baste it and all that kind of good stuff. I am thankful that you guys joined me tonight, and I am wishing all of our friends in the States a very happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. I hope it kicks off your holiday season with wonderful families and friends, memories made, fun times together. So that's great. For the rest of us who are just going to be working away like it's a regular day, again, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'm going to see you next Wednesday. That'll be Wednesday, November 29th. And we're going to continue on with some holiday ideas, some holiday preparations, maybe some gift ideas, that kind of thing next week. All right. Don't forget that even if you're watching on YouTube, if you have some cards that you make, don't forget to go and share them in the Virtual Crop Facebook group. Because again, we want inspiration. We want to see and get ideas, get those creative wheels turning, and then create our own version of it and share it. So if you've been inspired by somebody, don't forget to give them some credit. And I will make sure that I put Julia's Instagram account link in the description box or in the comments after we finish off the video. All right. So again, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining me tonight, and I will see you next week. All right. Bye-bye for now, everyone.